This person says, can I ask why you would never move to one, meaning a red state? They want to know why I would never move to a red state. The politics. The politics is literally the reason why. Would I own a second house in a red state? Like, would I, if it were financially feasible and it was something that we wanted to do, would I own a small second house down by where our daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughters live, so that when we went down there to visit them, we didn't have to get hotel rooms and we had a place we could stay? Yeah, I would. Would I live permanently in a red state? Absolutely not. First and foremost, wherever I move, my wife would obviously be living there with me, and I would never, ever have my wife living in a state where she didn't have control over her own body. Right there, deal breaker. There's no way in hell I would ever move to a state with my wife where the state got to determine what happened to her body. They literally just cut a baby out of a dead woman down south. They kept that woman alive because she was brain dead. Because she was pregnant, they kept her alive. And then they just cut that baby out of her not too long ago. 1 pound in the NICU. Don't know if it's going to survive. But they just used a woman's body as a fucking incubator. No way in hell would I ever live in a red state for that reason alone. More to the point, we still have a son in school. My son's getting ready to go into the 8th grade. I would never have my child educated in a red state, not knowing what type of education they're going to get. Now, are my granddaughters being educated in a red state? Yes. And they have parents with their head on their shoulders that can listen and understand what they're being taught in school and tell them, you know what, that's inaccurate or that's incorrect if need be. But red states have a history now of not teaching the right history, whitewashing history, omitting certain words, teaching kids that this didn't happen when it really did. I don't want my child being educated in such an environment. I would be constantly trying to correct what the schools say, and I'm certainly not going to homeschool. No, I would never live in a red state for those reasons. Another reason I would predominantly not want to live in a red state is that they're mostly in the southern states, and from a climate aspect, I just couldn't see myself living in one. Florida's beautiful, but there's no fucking way in hell I'm dealing with that heat. Louisiana, I fucking love New Orleans. Love it. New Orleans is my favorite city outside of the city of Chicago. Hands down. I would never in a million years live in Louisiana. The climate there is just, with all due respect to my friends in the Gulf Coast, can't do it. And then you take shitty politics and layer it on top of that climate. No. I'll stay up here in the blue states, in the blue areas of the blue states where the air hurts my face, my wife has bodily autonomy, and my son actually learns real history.